What's going on, everybody? Wilson here, your spiritual hype man, back with Victoriano. Did I say it?
Yeah,
Yeah, I got it. My
yeah, you
home,
good, you good.
my homie Victor. Victor, real quick, where are you from?
So I'm located right here in Boise, Idaho.
Okay,
I'm from a town called Caldwell.
okay,
So it's a couple towns outside of Boise, but
nice, fantastic. Okay, and
Idaho.
then so where's the nationality from with your name? Where's that name come
I'm
from?
I'm half Mexican, half white, and
Okay,
yeah.
all right, cool. That's awesome. That's where Victorano comes from, right? I'm
Well,
saying it Italian. I don't know why I'm saying it Italian.
Victoriano.
Vic. Sorry,
Yeah. You
man.
good?
Real time
You're not the
results.
only one though.
Real time results, man. No,
Yeah.
this is the homie. All right, so let's just recap the last episode. Obviously, growing up's been tough. Influence was you were one. You were the only male with was it six sisters?
Yeah. Six sisters,
Six sisters,
single
mom
mom.
had to take care of her, had to protect her. Mom went through a bunch of sort of my mom, man. Like we share certain things there too, like going through different dudes and dudes just being probably not the best individuals at that moment. Like not, they probably whatever they had to deal with. But so you went through a bunch of that. You were part of the gang, right? The gang life. Got into in prison. You were there for 10 years. Got out, made a change, started changing your life, the feelings, awareness, all these things that then brought you to this level where you are right now, not only successful within business and finances, but also just successful in life with relationships, your other half, and you're gonna be a father. So do we know, is it a boy or girl or?
Not yet. We're
Not
still
yet. Okay,
waiting.
okay, cool. So, to this next level of life. So you went from wherever that was before to where you are now. Like, it's been an incredible journey, right? So I want to just ask a couple of questions in terms of what was your mental state at, or what in prison, what was that thing that like kept repeating itself that you're no longer going to be this individual, or want to start changing these things about yourself?
So for me, it wasn't. Look, I've seen a lot of people
Yeah.
start doing good in prison just because they can't live in prison anymore. They're not comfortable. They got to be in a separate prison or part of the prison that's. Listen, if you want to do good, you can still be who you are, where you're from. That's never going to change. But what you're doing now, that's the factor that a lot of people uh fail to understand, right? So I got out of prison in good stances with everybody.
Right.
I didn't go tell on anybody. I didn't. My charges weren't messed up. There's just I've seen a lot
A
of
lot of
people,
things. Right.
a
Right.
lot of people, a lot of things that happen to start making somebody in the prison system live a different lifestyle.
Right.
For me, I was locked down during COVID lockdown, and 23 hours a day. Our first 2 months, we were locked down, or we were able to come out of our cells every 2 weeks for 15 minutes.
Damn. So you locked down for 2 weeks at like no,
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 for 2 months,
two
and then it was
months.
was 23 hours a day lockdown, right? And
Jesus
if you've done
Christ.
ag seg time, you understand the kind of the routine. But
Right.
for me, I was sitting in a cell. I felt like a cartoon character. My feet were going and going and going and going, but my body was there. I couldn't go anywhere. I couldn't go get a job because I was stuck in a prison cell. I couldn't do a whole lot of things because where I was located, right? So in my head, I'm already making these moves on the outs. I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. I just knew what I didn't want to do and I didn't want to repeat. You know what I mean?
Damn.
So that was the biggest thing for me is that's where the change came, man. Is you just you just start you're that fly on the wall and you're seeing everything go down and where people end up and how long they've been here and the misery on their face, and there's just a lot of hurt in that lifestyle, man.
Damn.
There's a
And
lot of hurt.
you were done with it.
We spent too much time being hurt, you
Yeah.
know.
Right. And then so how do you take that now? How do you approach that now? Like it moving forward, and even with other relationships and people that you still continue to, be with, friends, hang out, your other half, etc. How do you take that moving forward?
Okay, so my biggest thing is to inspire the next guy, right? So me and you, we met at my first men's retreat.
Yeah.
Okay, Let me tell you something about that drive up there. My first drive up there, right? I drove up there when I was in a minimum security prison. We actually used to clean. We get out of the truck and walk and remove debris, clean up trash, all down that road up to Dongley. I hated that drive. I hated that drive. Now I'm a grown man in a different situation, going up to a men's retreat at this big, expensive cabin up in Donley on the lake, filled with the 20-some men that are entrepreneurs and doing the most in what they got going on, right?
Yeah.
I drove up there. It was a little different, right? Different reasoning to drive up there. And I make it to the men's retreat. And I get there and I see a Porsche, a Range Rover. I see all these fancy ass cars, and I'm still rolling around in my 2005 beat up Expedition.
Hey, let's go.
And you know what? Everything in me, that voice that gets inside your head and holds you back from doing the most was like, hey, get out of there. Turn around. You're not here. You're in the wrong spot. And I shut it down. I got out. I knocked on that damn door. And I was embraced by a lot of people. They didn't look like me. They didn't have my background, but they did have similar traumas. Eventually, we ended up talking more. And one somebody said, "You're exactly where you're supposed to be. You are in the room where you're meant to be in." And again, that built a lot of relationships through there that helped me understand on a bigger scale. Just because you have money doesn't make you a good person. So just still be aware of people's intentions.
Right. And their awareness, right? Is what it is.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It comes down to awareness, just knowing who you are and how you're treating other people. Even if you're a baller, like there's a level of respect to the other human being, Yeah.
So after everything's said and done, this whole time frame, me and you met. I put on my first men's retreat.
I saw that. That was awesome.
Last month, what January? Last January. Last January. What last month?
Yeah.
Okay. So it was called the Free Men's Retreat. And I'm looking around. When I was in that men's retreat with you guys, I'm looking around and I'm like, I got 10 years in the prison system, and what made me frustrated is I got a whole lot of classes when I was in the prison system, but they didn't teach me. They taught me how to stay exactly where I was. Criminal thinking errors, drug and alcohol, violence, gang. Okay, you're teaching me this. I'm aware of it, right? But you're not teaching me anything else. So when I stopped moving the way that I was moving, what education am I given to live a different lifestyle?
Right.
You know what I mean? And that frustrated me. So again, I'm looking, and I talked to Travis when I went out to Puerto Rico, and we came up with the Free Men's Retreat. Men like me giving to the next guy, men that are doing the most, to have every excuse in the book to be a piece of shit, to not be a productive member of society. And they're making all the right decisions, and they're being really successful in what they're doing, and they made a choice, right? And it's been amazing to do that, to feed the next guy. That's it.
Right. Yeah.
Not
How
some
did
people
that
don't.
go? It was great.
It went
right?
amazing. It went amazing. Right. There were 16 people.
Yeah.
We actually worked with a nonprofit organization, Breaking Chains Academy, out of Nampa. And what these guys do is they have they help the youth, these troubled youth, not only get their GEDs, but show them, put them onto a career path.
Yeah.
Something that I wish I had. Things could have went different, but they're changing these kids. Some people have given up on these kids. Some people have deemed them
outcast, society.
And these guys are taking the time and giving them a place to come. And anyways,
what's the name of the organization?
Breaking Chains Academy.
Breaking Chains Academy. Okay.
Yeah. An amazing, again, they're a nonprofit organization, and I didn't make this. The men's retreat wasn't for me to make money. It was for me to. I went in and talked about SMP, and these kids, they're younger. They don't care about balding. They're not balding. You know what I mean?
Like, I don't care.
They didn't care about.
What's next?
They felt my story, but they didn't gain nothing from my service. So what I ended up doing, I'm like problem solving in my head. How can I help this organization? And
Yeah.
again, it was to put on a men's retreat. All proceeds ended up going to the nonprofit organization. Um, yeah, there was a lot of great people, and everybody that was supposed to be there, that was meant to be there, was there.
Was
And
there.
that's the
Oh,
beauty of it. They
yeah.
got what they wanted, they needed, and they gave back. You know what I mean? So it was a full circle return, man.
Dude, and I feel like that's like your everyday now, right? That's like that's what's in you. It's just how do I put out and give out?
Well, it is, but I still have those demons. I still have that. That guy deserves everything that, and I got to stop myself and just be the better person. You know what I mean? And just be aware. And like, if I value a relationship, I'm definitely going to feed that relationship and water that relationship. I can't, again, it stops right here in the thoughts, right? You
Right.
shut those thoughts down and just being aware of somebody else's journey, you know?
Yeah. And then so what's something that I guess you kind of led to it. It's what are you working on now that you know you see yourself in the moments where you kind of catch yourself and then continue to work on it. Is that self is it self-doubt or is it like what is it that you were talking on?
I just feel like it's human nature. It's human nature to stray away and fall into your old behaviors, right?
Mm-hmm.
And to be aware of it, I'm still gonna, honestly, I still want to go and do some more ayahuasca, but there's things that I have to take care of that I was shown that were problems, right? For me, that
Mm-hmm.
I got to take care of before I go back. And I don't want to use it as a drug. I don't want to use it as something where I'm like,
Right.
I need it. I don't need it.
Right.
You know what I mean? It was something that helped me. And you know what? I've been shot 2 different times, diagnosed ADD. I've been thrown on a whole bunch of pain pills and different medication, right? And one night I experienced the change in what the awareness that I needed to become a better person. You know what I mean? And that's
Crazy.
just, it's crazy to me.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, dude. So I'll tell you a little something about my experience. We my other half and I, Patty, we decided we're like, all right, we're gonna do the mushrooms. Let's get this going. We're gonna put some movies on, hang out, do whatever. So I started watching. I started watching. We started watching a bunch of the movies that are on the list, and then all of a sudden, next thing you know, I find myself outside, and I can see like the breathing and the oneness, the connectivity. I'm like, oh my god, this is great. Then I stand outside in front of my house, it's just like staring at my house. I'm like, damn, it needs more love. Like, you know what I mean? Like I can see it visually. I'm like, there's it's lacking love. Like I felt it. I was like, oh fuck. All right. So now I know we got to work on this love thing. I come back inside. I go into the bathroom and like I'm in the mirror, right? They say don't look at yourself in
Don't
the
look.
mirror. Yeah,
Don't
but
look.
dude, I was in it and I was doing all these. There was different stages of like having fun and like. The big the circus guy, they used to draw him with the big mouth. Like that's
Yeah.
kind of what I was doing in front of the mirror for a while. And then there was a moment where like I sat back and I looked at I looked at myself and then like I kind of closed my eyes. And same thing, I was like looking for this pain. I was like, I can feel this like hurt. And then like I kind of like dove deep and I felt it and it came out and I started bawling. It was just like this like crazy just release of all the shit that I was like holding on to. And then I realized that like I'm like, man, I felt that I felt that it was that life really is just about this like connection to someone else, like this other human being that is part of like this thing, right? Like that's all
Could
like
you could you imagine? Could you imagine what you okay? You looking at your house and saying this, it needs love.
right,
Imagine everybody on your block
doing
looking
the
at
same
their
thing.
house
Right.
and looking at the world like they it needs more love. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
And that's all it comes down to is, man, is just what kind of energy are you bringing into the world?
Yeah. 100%, man. I realized that. And then Patty walked in and Patty's like not trying to fucking deal with my like balling. She's like, I'm just trying to enjoy my fucking journey, man, and watch
Yeah.
Alice in Wonderland. But I'm like, babe, it doesn't matter. It's about, but it was a well worth trip, man. It definitely helped change, a little bit of perspective. I think the hard part for me was for like 2 weeks I felt it and I was like super just like abundant full of like giving this love.
Did you do the
And then
fade away?
and then it fades away. And then it's like, fuck,
That's
you're right
why
back. Yeah.
That's why, like, even with ayahuasca, that's why people do continue it over
Right.
it's not just a one-time thing.
It's
It's
not, I can't.
us as humans, we do fall back
Right.
into negative behaviors very
Yep.
easy. That's why it's so important to be more aware, and to continue the things that fuel us, right? And
Yeah.
if it's psilocybin, if it's ayahuasca,
Yoga,
if
fishing, meditation, whatever.
whatever it
Right.
is for you, I don't care. Like I said, I don't care if you pick up this rock and you're like, you know what? Since I found this rock,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be a better person. I'm a love, and I don't care what it is. If it's a person, obviously don't be codependent on,
Right.
if don't be like, if this doesn't work, then I'm gonna act
My
like
life is
this, or
ruined.
I
Right.
will be
Exactly.
happy as long as I have this in my life,
Yeah.
or her
Yeah.
or him or whatever. Like that's completely different.
Yeah.
You're throwing out different things to the universe. But I found this rock. I'm gonna be a good person. I'm gonna keep
Yeah.
growing. Like
Right.
whatever it is, hey, keep going, keep
Yeah.
growing.
And
Be
I
happy.
I would say like even like your men's retreats or other retreats or things like that, just to keep that like cycle of good and notions and awareness. Because when you had mentioned doing your ayahuasca and then you described like the scenery, what you were doing and the calling and the chanting, and I can only imagine like not having a cell phone in that moment, being in that moment, and then like hearing this and taking it all in, how like immensely magical that probably that experience was for you or anybody that does
Yeah.
that. And so yeah, I would agree with you, moving forward. And I think more and more people are on these journeys to just doing the same thing that we're doing or feeling the same thing that we're doing, and looking for these type of experiences or situations that'll help them continue that aha moment.
And you know what? Like thinking about it now, I feel like a lot of people don't try to. They try to, what's the word I'm looking for? They try to distract themselves, right? Distract themselves. Hey, over here.
Yeah, right.
They don't heal. They don't heal. You distract yourself. It's only a matter of time. Just like a kid with a toy,
Exactly.
they're gonna stop playing with it. So the distraction is not gonna work until you figure out that root problem,
Right.
or what's holding you back
Yeah. Yeah,
from
deep
growing, from
deep
being
inside
happy.
work, man. You got to talk to yourself. That's the thing is, people used to think you're crazy if you talk to yourself. It's not. It's like you just got to sit and figure out what is it? Like what is it? What is the ish or what is the thing? And then how do we work around it? And that's one thing that we share is like, sometimes when I find myself, or I used to find myself in situations that I know typically I would act in this fashion, then like in those moments, I try to reflect on the times that I acted in these fashions and then bring it back to that moment and understand that I don't want to feel that way, or I don't want other people to feel like that way in those situations. And so
Yeah.
that, I think along with that awareness and a continued, like you said, inside work, you're gonna get there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You'll get to a level of somewhat more clarity of who am I, what's my purpose, what am I doing, and how do I continue fulfilling it? Which
Yeah.
is exactly what you're doing, man. When's your next men's retreat? Are you thinking of one, or are you planning one, or
Okay, so I'm gonna be honest with you. I put the whole thing on by myself. I
yeah,
didn't realize,
it's a lot of work.
yeah, it's a lot of work, right?
Yeah,
So the day of, I'm like, I wanted to
one and
see a
only.
mission through, and that's it. The first day of this men's retreat, there was tears, there was anger, there was laughter, there was fears,
Emotion.
there was
Yeah,
traumas that were being brought up, and these guys are complete strangers, and there's tears, and it just solidified, like, I was meant to
to be
do
here.
this. I was
Yeah,
meant to, and I can't help but think back to the prison system, right, or county jail, and like county jail. I had people move in a certain way, doing things that you okay. When it came time to chow, right? Hey, let the older men get their blah blah blah,
yeah,
and then everybody follow.
yeah,
If it's little things like that, or I know it's going to sound bad, but when you could tell a whole bunch of everybody struggling with addiction,
yeah,
hey, half of the table, half of everybody here is going to get high, half of them are going to stay sober, right? Bro, for me to be able to get through to society's fuck ups,
yeah.
that that's very strong. That's very strong. That's very that
Yeah, it's powerful.
it is, and it's
Yeah.
scary. It's scary because it's like somebody with that could do that could potentially hurt a lot of people, or
Mm.
they could help a lot of people.
Yeah,
You know what
100%.
I mean? And the gifts that it's not out of fear. There's respect involved, and you know what? I will lie. I'm not lying. I, during that time, it was fear, right?
Right.
But now, like I'm moving in there's just love there. You know what I mean? These guys that showed up weren't coming
Yeah.
to this men's retreat because
Yeah.
they were scared that if they weren't going to act out of line, that something bad was going to happen to them. You know what I mean? It was. I see the change in him, and I want to feel that. I see how happy he is. Some people might call, hey, they may say something else, but for the people that matter,
Yeah. Exactly. For
that's
the human
heartfelt,
being that's in
man.
front of you. Yeah. For the human being
That's
that's in
heartfelt.
front of you. Yeah. Amazing, dude. So great.
Yeah.
All right, my brother. So tell me last words for people that are listening, or I mean, well,
I say just keep it going. Keep it going. You know the difference between right and wrong, and pick the right every time. Pick the right. In the end, I do right, and in the end, you'll be blessed.
yeah,
That's it. Whatever you believe, whatever religion, whatever, good is good, and you will be blessed. I promise you.
that's right. You know what it is. Self-reflection is key. Self-awareness is great, and keep
Yeah.
rocking. All right, my brother Victor Victorano, real time results. Go get them. I appreciate
Yes,
you
sir.
for spending some time and holding the space. Keep crushing it. I'm gonna keep following and seeing your journey.
Yeah.
And for everybody
We'll
out
be in
there,
touch.
yeah, for sure. We'll be in touch. Everybody else out there, if you want to follow Vic's journey, I'll put your stuff up on there as well, so people can get a chance to look at it. Really great
All right.
stuff.
Cool.
And the people that you changed lives with, man, thanks so much. I appreciate you. Keep crushing it, guys, and don't forget, nothing changes until you do. All right, peace.